we're going to take a look at Ronald's backhand. He's got a really nice one-hander. He checks, most of the boxes on the shot, and we're going to look at his shot, and then we're going to compare it to Stan Wawrinka. We're going to look at the common threads and also, the little things that could slightly be improved. So let's get right into it. Boom. So let's slow this down. Right. So even here, we've got the letter L for leverage, which is great. We want the racket to stay above the hand the entire time, so that's good. And he's got the non-hitting arm up and the elbow is up as well, so we love to see that. His head is forwards, and we've got the shoulder underneath the chin, and the back shoulder is also higher than the front shoulder. Extremely textbook. And yeah, he's also got a bend here, and it forms a letter U with the wrist and the racket. So that's very, very good. And he's also got his lower body turned as well. Now from here, the racket is almost parallel with the baseline. He could maybe turn a little bit more, but this is still very, very good because a lot of people don't even get it back this far. And he's going to let go of the racket around the back pocket. Boom. Now, what I will say here is he should not be coming up with the legs this early. It may be an incoming high ball, but still, you actually don't want to pop up on the one-handed backhand until the ball has left your strings. You want to kind of hit and freeze and stay a little bit lower for as long as you can, but that's okay. He's now leading with the butt cap, and as we can see here, boom, arm extension. His arm is not bent at all. So that's very, very good. At this point, I would say that this arm should be farther back. He's not exactly spreading the wings as much as he could, but his chest, the A, is pointing right towards us, which is great. And yeah, he does go and spread the wings, but it could be, a little bit more exaggerated. Like we would want this arm possibly back there at this point, but he holds the letter L, even after the swing into his finish as well. So it's textbook stuff, and it's very good. Let's look at one more. Okay, boom. So again, I would say that this, space here, we could even elevate the upper arm, this elbow, it could be up here, so it's a little bit more parallel. It does seem that it's a little bit, down, so he could get it even higher. It's always super important, especially if this part of the swing is new to you, to exaggerate, this phase of the one-handed backhand. We see how the racket's kind of pointing back to the fence at a 45-degree angle. Ideally, at this point, we would want the racket face to actually be upright, and it is because his elbow is a little bit too low. So make sure to over-exaggerate that and, raise this, and the tip of the racket should be pointing at the sky at this point. But again, very nice. So we get, the power position where the racket basically went parallel with the baseline there, and he's going to drive the swing, and his arm's going to come off of his body like a lever. Again, his ball striking is great because his arm is not too close to his body. Again, he did lift with the legs a little bit early, so we want to focus on staying down through the entire hit. But very nice finish. Wow. And there we go. On balance, letter L for leverage. So that's really great. And now let's go take a look at Stan Wawrinka's backhand and compare the two, the common threads. So we've got Stan the man from Switzerland, and I'm going to show you guys the things that he and Ronald both do and how they both check pretty much all the boxes. And as you can see here, so at this point, like I said, Stan's racket is pointing up to the sky. It's not pointing back to the fence, not yet at least. And he does do a great job of, as you can see, raising this. So there should be like a 90-degree angle under the arm. Ronald's was more like a 45-degree angle, from the elbow and the midsection. So we want to make sure, again, if this is new to you, to over-exaggerate, getting the non-hitting hand really up so that, your upper arm is basically parallel with the ground, not at a 45-degree angle, so really raise it, and the tip of the racket should be pointing to the sky. But both of them do a good job of coiling, as we can see, shoulder underneath the chin. And I was doing a clinic the other day. I even made the students literally tap their chin to their shoulder in the shadow swing. But they both, get a good job of being sideways. And we've got, again, the letter U, where we have a bend in the arm, right? The arm is not straight and hyperextended. That's a no-no. You want a bend here and then a bend with the wrist and the racket face. And then when he goes, again, the coil continues, and as you can see what I was talking about, the racket face gets almost parallel. The strings are almost pointing to the back fence. The racket is basically parallel with the baseline, obviously. We just can't see it in this frame. And they're going to let go of the racket from here at the same time, but you're going to see what I was talking about, how Stan is not going to lift his legs until the ball leaves the strings. As you can see, his legs are in the same position. Boom. And from here as well, you're going to watch how he's going to drag in the back toe, which is very important for firing the hips and getting extra power. So that's something Ronald can also do, is drag in this back toe, because it helps us stay sideways. And you're going to see the spreading of the wings, very nice. He's still got the angle in his racket here, but mainly his legs have stayed down, right? It's like a hit and freeze motion, and he's not going to lift until after he's hit. And both of them do a great job of staying sideways. And I'm just going to point out, it's a misconception, right, that we open up after the backhand, but as we can see, his racket's sideways. Maybe it's at, a little bit less than a 45-degree angle even, but he has not opened up until after the ball has left his racket, and now he's going to face the fence. Just a lot of people, they don't have it broken down for them slowly, or they don't know that you're not supposed to open up. And both of the players that I just showed you, Ronald and Stan, do a great job of staying sideways. It's a must. And as you can see, the letter L is still in the finish. It's very important that you don't just let the wrist, flail and fly across you, right? It's not a bravo finish. This is just his recovery. So very, very textbook. Two great players. And if you would like to work with me one-on-one and have me analyze your shots through video analysis just like this, click the link